Hey, my friends, it is shortly after 4 o'clock out here in the West. We've got 7 o'clock out there on the East, and I'm kind of wearing a fun, vacation-y, Caribbean-y kind of shirt to talk about some of my latest trips that I've added to the mix in 2025. Now, keep in mind that a lot of work goes into these trips. Again, we start the planning process early. I talk to my cruise line friends, and we kind of pick out what we believe is going to be the perfect trip that I get to escort you on. And that's what Sail with Seth is all about. Not only is it about a great experience, but it's also about the friends and the new friends that you make and the fun that we all have together. I know many of you are tuning in now, but many are watching this kind of on a delay. And that's okay. If you have any questions whatsoever, please go ahead and send me an email. Again, you can do so by sending an email to sailwithseth@gmail.com, sailwithseth@gmail.com, and we will go ahead and get you all of the information that you need to know about these future trips. So many of you spoke to my assistant, Mariah, and she is a gem. And again, she is watching us, so she is paying attention to the emails. She's paying attention to all of that. So whether you email us now or later, we will get you the latest e-brochure on the trips that we have going on, not only for 2024, but into 2025. So hello to so many of you that are watching. Just want to say hello to Scott and Gail, Jackie and Janet, Prisby and Dee Dee, Paige and Gail, Sue and Mark, Donna, Jean, Bonnie, Andrea. So good to see so many familiar names and faces and new ones as well. So I love putting all of that together. And again, if you have a place where you want to go and I haven't mentioned that, please go ahead and put that in an email or just put up a comment here as well. But if you're interested in a certain trip, please go ahead and send us an email. Again, sailwithseth@gmail.com, and we will get that information to you. So yesterday, I put out 3 pictures. And again, where it says live events start soon, that's the pictures that you just saw. So you have the far left, you have the middle, and you have the right. So what do we think these pictures are? Take a guess. Let me know in the comments. So, of course, we have to the left under May 2025. What do you think that one is? And what do you think the middle one is? And what do you think the one to the right is? I've got some really cool trips planned, and we're going to go into the details here coming up in just a bit. So once again, we're going to announce a May 2025 trip, August and September of 2025, and then October of 2025. Those are our trips. And then a little sneak peek into 2026, and then we'll have a rundown of our 2024 trips as well. All right, so I see we have Charleston, we have Caribbean, we have Alaska, we have New England. I like it all. I mean, this is great. This is perfect. So let's go ahead and kick things off with the first trip. It's the first trip of our announcement for our future trips. And this is going to be an incredible itinerary that I hope that you will all be a part of. All right. So Paige, you guessed Charleston, and you are correct. Take a look at this cruise. This is from our friends over at Celebrity Cruises. This is leaving out of Cape Liberty, New Jersey, which is basically the New York City metro area. This is May 8th through the 18th of 2025. Now, what's so great about this is we are going to be offering several overnight stops. So Martha's Vineyard is to the left. We have Charleston, South Carolina, right smack dab in the middle. And then you have Bermuda, which is over to the right. So yes, we have some really cool things happening. Now, let me show you the itinerary here in detail. So on May 8th, we will depart Cape Liberty, New Jersey. Again, that's the New York City area. Martha's Vineyard is our full day stop on the 9th. We will be at sea on the 10th. We will be in Charleston, South Carolina for an overnight stay. So once again, we arrive on the 11th and we depart Charleston, South Carolina on the 12th. On the 13th, we're at sea. On the 14th, we arrive into Bermuda. We are in Bermuda for 3 days. That means that we will be spending 2 overnights in Bermuda. If you have never been to Bermuda, it is absolutely spectacular. It is a beautiful island. And yes, some of the sand is really pink. And it is a wonderful, wonderful stay. Not only do we leave Bermuda on the 16th, but we're at sea before arriving back into Cape Liberty, New Jersey on the 18th. This is a perfect itinerary for golfers, perfect itinerary for foodies, because Charleston, South Carolina is a great foodie town, and that's really going to be a great one. And we'll talk much more about that. We're going to have a group dinner in Charleston. I mean, this is going to be a lot of fun, and it's going to be a great time. And it's perfect for my Northeasterners too, because we leave out of Cape Liberty, New Jersey. And whether you're flying from the West Coast like myself, nice that we only have to travel here in the United States rather than longer flights. So once again, this is going to be on Celebrity Silhouette, which just got redone. And my sales rep from Celebrity, Tiffany, said it's one of her favorite ships in the entire Celebrity fleet. So it is going to be a fantastic journey. And once again, it will be stopping in Cape Liberty, Martha's Vineyard, Massachusetts. We've got a day at sea, Charleston, South Carolina for an overnight, at sea, Bermuda, overnight. Again, 2 overnights. Bermuda we leave on the 16th, so 3 days, a day at sea, and then we arrive Cape Liberty, New Jersey. Again, this is going to be on Celebrity Silhouette. Celebrity Silhouette will be the name of the ship that we will be going on. So this is going to be a pretty, pretty awesome trip. And once again, some of the specials that we can throw in here. We have a Sail with Seth special. So everyone, in addition to any of the cruise line promotions. So, I mean, we're talking about booking on board. We're talking about, and the nice part is, by the way, I will be on Celebrity. So what I'm going to do, if you're interested in this cruise, please go ahead and send me an email, because what I'm going to do is I am going to try to get you booked on board so you can get more of the benefits, okay? Can't promise you if it makes it work, but again, I'm going to try every which way to do that, because I'll be on a Celebrity cruise here at the end of the week. But $100 shipboard credit, no matter what. So if it's not combinable with that is combinable with all of the promotions that Celebrity is offering. So if they offer a $200 onboard credit, I'm going to throw in another $100 onboard credit. And then we're also going to be doing a complimentary group shore excursion in Bermuda. So we have 3 days in Bermuda. We're going to do a group shore excursion in Bermuda, and that is going to be covered by me here at Sail with Seth. So once again, $100 shipboard credit and a complimentary group shore excursion in Bermuda. So that's what I've got. Any questions on that trip? Feel free to go ahead and send me any of those questions. Bonnie is asking, is it Hamilton or Kings Wharf in Bermuda? It's actually going to be in Royal Naval Dockyard, which is on the west side. So ships are now too large to arrive into Kings Wharf or Hamilton. What we are going to do, and we'll talk more about this if you're interested, and with our Zoom calls. And I'm going to, by the way, add more Zoom calls to the mix. So we're not just going to have 1 or 2. We're likely going to have 3 or 4 Zoom calls per trip. So look for that to change here in just a little bit. But I also want to let everyone know that in Bermuda, we will get a water taxi pass, which means that you can go from the West End, which is the Royal Naval Dockyard, over to Hamilton or over to St. George, and I can walk you through all of that. I've been to Bermuda a handful of times. It's a gorgeous location. Again, the sand is really pink, and it is fantastic. So this is a really, really cool one, because not only do you get to visit Bermuda, because again, Bermuda is fantastic and gorgeous in its own right, but it's just not the normal Bermuda cruise. I mean, we're talking Charleston, South Carolina. We're talking Bermuda and Martha's Vineyard in Massachusetts. Going to be a fantastic, fantastic itinerary. So once again, if you're interested in that round trip out of Cape Liberty, New Jersey, please go ahead and send me an email, and we will get an e-brochure sent out to you. Again, I do want to stress this to you, that when you indicate that you're interested, that does not mean that you're locked in, okay? That just tells us that you're interested in this trip, and we will send you out an e-brochure, and then you can decide. We'll get you pricing, we'll get you all that stuff. And once again, if you go ahead and sign up, you get that $100 onboard credit, as well as the complimentary shore excursion in Bermuda. So super, super pumped about that trip, and it is going to be fun. Once again, in May. That's going to be May of 2025. All right, my Alaska friends, you have asked for it, and I am delivering on this one. It's an Alaska cruise tour. Again, this is something that I wanted to do back in 2023. It did not happen the way I wanted it to happen. So we are going to redo this. I am promised that we are not going to be canceled. I am promised that this cruise tour is going to take place. And the best part, it's at prime Aurora Borealis viewing. So let's talk about this. This is an Alaska cruise tour that leaves out of Vancouver, British Columbia to Fairbanks, Alaska. Now, I know that I recommend to you, and for several of you, you have asked me, well, what do you recommend on cruise tours? I know you've been on several. What do you recommend? I recommend that you do the tour first and then the cruise. A little more relaxing that way. However, I'm going to flip it around and kind of take back what I say about that, because on this one, it's the last cruise tour of the season, which means that fall will be in the air in the interior of Alaska. And this is going to be a perfect opportunity for us to see the Northern Lights. It's not a promise, but it's certainly something that we hope that we can see. So Alaska Cruise Tour is going to be Vancouver, British Columbia to Fairbanks, Alaska, August 29th through September 11th of 2025. You see the pictures there. There's Vancouver, BC, Hubbard Glacier, and then Denali National Park. Let's break down this trip for you. So on August 29th, we have the cruise. So once again, this is the cruise. So the cruise is going from the 29th through the 5th. So you depart Vancouver, British Columbia, and then you are going to go from Vancouver, British Columbia to a day at sea, which is the Inside Passage. On the 31st, we will be in Ketchikan, the 1st in Sitka, the 2nd in Juneau, the 3rd in Icy Strait Point. And you know what that means? If you're a regular here, you know that I love Icy Strait Point and I love that zip line. So we will be going down the zip line together, and I've got some fun giveaways as well. So again, that's at Icy Strait Point. Hubbard Glacier is a day at sea, and then we arrive into Seward on the 5th. After a quick tour of Seward, we're on our way to Anchorage, where we spend an overnight in Anchorage. We then have an overnight in Talkeetna. We have a glass-domed train car from Denali National Park and Talkeetna. We spend the night in the park. On the 8th, again, we have 2 days in the national park, so Denali National Park from the 7th and the 8th. On the 9th, we arrive into Fairbanks via train. We have an overnight in Fairbanks, and then we depart Fairbanks on the 11th. Now, this is not a promise, but something that I'm working on. I have a lot of meteorological friends. Of course, you remember that I did the weather in many cities across the country. And I have friends, and I started my career in Fairbanks, Alaska. I have friends at the University of Alaska, the Geomagnetic Institute there. And last year, we were promised a tour. We had to cancel on that because the cruise line decided to cancel the tour. And now I'm going to kind of resurrect all of that. So this is going to be on Celebrity Summit. So if you are familiar with the Constellation, which I'll be on Saturday, it's that size. The Millennium, the Infinity, the Summit, the Constellation. Those ships are a perfect size and not too large by any stretch and not too small. Again, Vancouver, British Columbia, up to Fairbanks, Alaska. And what I love so much about this is that we are going to take in the sights and sounds of Fairbanks and Denali in the fall. So we'll be seeing the changing of the leaves. We are going to be seeing the animals kind of start gearing up for the upcoming winter season. So it's really going to be a cool one. And once again, this is a absolutely wonderful cruise tour that will start August 29th. Now, when I talk about the Northern Lights in Alaska, I want to show you this. The best time to see the Northern Lights is between September and March. So this is why I decided to do a northbound rather than a southbound. And when I say southbound, that means that your tour is first and then you take the cruise down south. Well, we're going to flip-flop it and do the northbound because there is an opportunity to even see the Northern Lights while we're at sea. So this is going to be an amazing, amazing trip. Most travelers come to Alaska over the winter months, but September, again, you can see it. I highlighted that month often marks the beginning of the aurora season in Alaska. The darkness, that starts to return. There's still plenty of daylight during the day, but the darkness begins to return. The weather remains clear, providing favorable conditions to witness the Northern Lights. Now, these are some of the shots that friends taken in the interior of Alaska. and this is during the month of September. So once again, not a promise. I don't want you to book this saying, I am definitely going to see the Northern Lights, because as we know, in the meteorological world, that doesn't exist. So we hope to see the Northern Lights. However, the chances of seeing them, especially at the beginning of September, are really, really good. So once again, Northern Lights in September. This is the Alaska Cruise Tour that'll take place August 29th to September 11th. So you're saying, what are some of the Sail with Seth specials on this one? Well, I'm going to give you $100 of shipboard credit, as well as the complimentary Fairbanks farewell dinner. And we're going to have a fun time in Fairbanks. We'll all say goodbye, and the last dinner is on me. So once again, these are the specials that you are going to receive: is the Sail with Seth, $100 shipboard credit, and a complimentary Fairbanks farewell dinner. And we will all be together. And once again, if you're interested in this one, please go ahead and let me know 100% that you are looking at this, okay, that you're just looking at it, and then we can go ahead and send you out an e-brochure. All right. That does not mean that you are definitively saying yes. It just means that you're interested, and we're happy to go ahead and send you out an e-brochure. All right. So this third trip, some of you guessed maybe PEI, which is Prince Edward Island. Maybe some of you were guessing Portland, Maine. I saw some people on the list Boston. I saw some people on the list Canadian Maritimes. So you're all kind of right, but this is going to take you off the beaten path. This cruise that's coming up for the fall of 2025, I am ecstatic about. I mean, I am ecstatic about this upcoming trip. Why? Because the itinerary is off the chart. I mean, off the chart. Wait till you see that. Not only that, but we're going to be on Windstar Cruises, which is one of my favorite. Plus, we get single supplement specials. Plus, you get to see a lot of fun and foodies. This is the trip for you. Why do I say that? I'll tell you here in just a moment. But let's talk about this upcoming trip. This is the Southeast Canadian Explorations. This is from Montreal to New York City. We will be docking in the city, in Manhattan, October 7th through the 19th of 2025. Okay? All right. So, ready for this? So, you've got a picture of Montreal in the fall, Quebec City, and Portland, Maine. Friends, look at this itinerary. We are going to be departing Montreal on October 7th. We have an overnight in Quebec City. We then depart Quebec City, and then we are at sea. And then on the 11th and 12th, we are going to be going to some very small towns in Quebec. Then we move on to Nova Scotia on the 13th. So do you see the 11th and 12th and 13th? Those are all small. I mean, we're talking small towns. And then on the 14th, we're in Halifax. On the 15th, we're at sea. We spend an overnight in Portland, Maine. On the 17th, we are in Portland, Maine. And then we arrive into New York City on the 18th. Again, on the 18th. And then we depart New York City on the 19th. Now, why did I say foodies? You're going to love this one, because this is the official partner, Windstar that is, of the James Beard Foundation. And this is a James Beard Foundation culinary themed cruise. I mean, foodies, this is the one for you. Not only does Windstar have amazing food, and my friends that are going to Tahiti and Panama at the end of the year, you will see that Windstar's cuisine is out of this world. But the culinary themed cruises are even better. The chef that we are going to be with is right there on your screen. His name is Chef Larry, and he will be hosting a chef-inspired dinner with a wine pairing, all included in your cruise. There's going to be 2 cooking demonstrations on board. And by the way, I'm working on a private one too, but don't tell anyone. Recipes are going to be included. We're going to have a market tour with the chef. So in some of the smaller ports of call, you will actually go with the chef to the market to learn all about farm to table. And this chef right here, Chef Larry, is the godfather of American cuisine for his role in changing the way that we eat today. He is the so-called founder, if you will, of the whole farm to table movement. So it's bringing in seasonal, local ingredients. And that is what Chef Larry is all about. He won a James Beard Award for the Best American Cookbook back in the mid-90s. He opened his first restaurant back in the early 80s. And this is a fantastic chef that will be doing our meet and greets, and we will have a private time with him on board. So I am so excited about this cruise. I mean, this is really one of them that are just, when I saw this, and many of you saw the picture with Ward the other day, and we were talking about it, I was literally like a little child. And he was like, Seth, you're smiling, you keep smiling. And I'm like, I know, because I am so ecstatic about this upcoming cruise. It's hard to wait for 2025, especially in October, but this cruise will sell out. There is no doubt that it will sell out. So this is why I am asking you to send me an email if you are interested. I literally just signed the group contract less than 24 hours ago. We have amazing introductory pricing, and wait until you see the extras that WinStar is able to throw in for us. Again, this is October of 2025. First of all, let's talk about my solos. I love my solos. You know I do, and I go to bat for you every single chance I can. And that is why my relationship with WinStar is so fantastic, because they are willing to give me some staterooms that are not available to anyone else at a solo traveler discount. So once again, 5 staterooms I have available. That's it. They will not give me any more. Sometimes they say that there's wiggle room, and sometimes they say that we can try to see. But since this is a James Beard Foundation cruise, this cruise will sell out. So they're only giving me 5 solo supplement staterooms, which means solos only pay 125% instead of 200%. So if you are interested in this cruise, 100% make sure that you send me a note, sailwithseth@gmail.com, because I need to make sure that you are counted in this, because I want to make sure that I have enough solo staterooms to go around. Again, I only have 5 of them, and they will not give me any more. All right? So that's a good reminder for you. Now, what are the Sail with Seth specials on this? Buckle your seatbelt, because this is a good one. Not only are we going to receive $100 shipboard credit, but my favorite perk of all time is complimentary laundry. And complimentary laundry is going to be included if you book by the end of February. All right? So by the time, again, you book by the end of February, complimentary laundry will be included. Also, complimentary one-night pre-cruise hotel in Montreal. Yeah, I said that. Complimentary one-night pre-cruise hotel in Montreal. It's all based on availability. So friends, what does that mean? That means that if there are no more rooms available, you will receive a $100 shipboard credit. I really want you to get the free room. Okay, that's what I really want. I really want you to take advantage of this cruise and get the free room in Montreal, because it's going to be well worth above $100 of shipboard credit. Now, if you miss that opportunity and you decide to book at a later date, then you will receive the $100 shipboard credit. So once again, if you are interested in the WinStar cruise, and this is the cruise to be a part of, because it's the James Beard Foundation cruise, plus it's WinStar, plus it's Montreal to New York City, it is going to be amazing. And look at all the overnights. Yeah, Portland, Maine, overnight. Quebec City, overnight. New York City, overnight. I mean, when you factor in the cost of this cruise, which I can't publicly talk about pricing, but again, if you send me an email, I'm more than happy to get you that pricing. But once again, you'll see the pricing and you're like, okay, so if we added up a night in Quebec and a night in Portland, Maine, and a night in New York, you're probably going to come up close to the actual price of the cruise, and a night in Montreal. So there is a lot to see, a lot to do on this Southeast Canadian explorations trip. And this, once again, is Montreal to New York City, October 7th through the 19th of 2025. And by the way, this is going to be on the Star Pride. So this is not a sailing ship. This is one of the yachts. This is going to be on the Star Pride. And once again, this is going to be one of the yachts, not the sailing ship. So it is a perfect opportunity to take your yacht and come into these small towns. And it really is going to be great. All right, so some other trips in 2025. We've already announced a majority of these. However, I do want to let you know in 2025 what we are offering. And in 2025, and I'm going to get to that here in just a bit, 12-night New Zealand in February of 2025. So these have already been announced. Many people are booked on these, but I do have availability on these trips. So 12-night New Zealand, again, this is going to be on Celebrity Edge in February of 2025. Back to a 9-night Australia in March 2025. So New Zealand starts in Auckland. It ends in Sydney. And then from Sydney, we will have a day excursion for the group. And then we take off and we visit the southern part of Australia. It's called the 9-night Wine Country Cruise. And then we come back to Sydney, and I'm in the process of looking up a post-trip, maybe going to the Outback or doing something there. But no promises on that one yet. But again, what I do know is what I have here on the screen, and that's the 12-night New Zealand and the 9-night Australia. Again, February and March of 2025. There is still availability left on this. So if you are interested, please go ahead and send me an email on that. All right, so many of you are saying, all right, so what's going on with 2026? Where are we with 2026? What do you have for 2026? Well, there is nothing set in stone yet. However, these are the current talks and meetings that I have been a part of. And for 2026, we will do the Caribbean in January. Okay. Again, to be determined. I will continue to let you know what we decide on that one. Antarctica expedition. If you wanted to be a part of our Antarctica expedition, and I know many latecomers decided they wanted to be a part of it, it was sold out rather quickly. I am going to do another one late January into February. However, this Antarctica expedition will be a bit longer than my last one. The last one was only 9 nights. The next one will be a minimum of 11 nights. Okay, that's for the Antarctica expedition. I'm also looking at a Vietnam-Cambodia river cruise that will be in the spring of 2026. And then the Arctic expedition and the Douro River in Portugal will also be in 2026. For those that were on my Antarctica trip, I did announce that I would look into 2025 for the Arctic. The dates that I looked at have already been chartered. So unfortunately, we could not be a part of that program for 2025. But for 2026, and again, I want to get great rates for all of you. And that is why I want, when I talk to cruise lines and I say, this is what I need, and they say, well, we can't really do this, but we could do it then, I'm going to say, okay, let's go ahead and get it done then. Because I want to make sure that I'm getting you the best pricing. I want to make sure that I can get you the best perks possible, because I do have those connections and I do have those friends that are at cruise lines. So I want to make sure that I am working for you. That's what Sail with Seth is all about. And not only that you get to have an amazing vacation, but you're also going to enjoy every second you are with everyone and me and the amenities and the ship, and the list goes on and on. So once again, 2026 is what we're looking at, and that's the Caribbean in January. Nothing is set in stone yet. Please go ahead and email us if you are interested in any of these, and we will put you on the list, and you will be first to know. You will be first to know when these go live. So once again, Caribbean in January, Antarctica expedition for late January and February, Vietnam, Cambodia in the spring, an Arctic expedition in 2026, and a Douro River on the Portugal in 2026. I should have all of the details on all of these trips by April of 2024. So we will talk much more about that. I know, a lot of information, right? I just want to see if any of you all have questions. All right, perfect. It looks like things are going really well. And again, if you have those questions, please feel free to go ahead and let me know, and I will wrap things up here in just a moment. So send me those questions and I can go ahead and answer those live. If you're watching this on a delay, that's okay too. Send me those questions via email and I will answer them. So I know that we just started 2024. So you're probably wondering, Okay, so I can't really look forward to 2026 yet. And then there's 2025. So what do you've got left for 2024? Well, I will tell you that the upcoming Mardi Gras trip that is full and done. We leave on Saturday. Tahiti is sold out. Japan is sold out. And then the next trip after that is Alaska. And we've got a great, 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 great group going to Alaska. So if you're interested in Alaska for the summer of 2024, leaving out of Seattle, I've got space for you. So let's talk about the 2024 itineraries. So we have a 10-night Alaska. Again, the cruise is 7 nights. So if you just want to do the 7-night cruise, you can absolutely 100% do that. But if you've never been to Alaska and you've never been to Seattle before, and some people just say, oh, I go right into Seattle and I come right back out and I don't really spend time there and I haven't seen much of Seattle. Well, guess what? I'm putting together an amazing pre-cruise tour, and the cost, it's funny because I talked to somebody today, and you know who you are if you're watching, and called me and said, okay, so is this tour X amount for X amount of days, or is it per day? And I said, no, it's X amount per all of those days. And they're like, how is that possible? But it's possible because I look for the best for you. And that is what we are doing, again, in Seattle. So if you're interested in the pre-tour or the 7-night cruise, you put them together and you get a 10-night cruise. Again, that's going to be in July of 2024. I also have a 21-night Norway and British Isles. That is going to be July and August of 2024. Now, with the 21-night Norway and British Isles cruise, okay, for July and August of 2024, you can split it up. You could do 7 nights Norway, 14 nights British Isles, or combine them all. And that is what 90% of the guests are doing. And we are on for 21 nights. So once again, I do have space available on that one and some pretty killer rates too. So 21-night Norway, British Isles, July and August. And since you're already in Europe, just come on over and spend the rest of us. There are 8 of us who are getting off of the British Isles and going on the Danube. And it's my favorite river on a great cruise line, AMA Waterways, and it's on the AMA Magna. Not any other ship in the world is like the AMA Magna. And I will tell you that it is double the width, double the length. It is an absolute marvel of engineering when we are talking about river cruising. So once again, that is a 12-night Danube River, August of 2024. Now, Galapagos. I do have some space left on the Galapagos trip. This booked up very, very quickly. It was my highest booked cruise when I started, and it still is very, very well maintained. There are 2 options here. There's a 10-night Galapagos cruise in October of 2024. For the 16-night option, you stay with us here in the Galapagos. So for the 10 nights, but for the remaining nights, we are going to head to Peru and do Machu Picchu, Cusco, as well as Lima. So that's the 16-night Galapagos with Machu Picchu. So you have 2 different options there and 2 different e-brochures that we can send you. Again, this is the 10-night Galapagos, October 2024, and the 16-night Galapagos with Machu Picchu, October of 2024. And to wrap it up for 2024, 7-night Costa Rica and Panama Canal New Year's Eve cruise. We are going to have a blast. It is not going to be over Christmas. You will say goodbye to the family and hello to your New Year's Eve party. You will fly out to San Jose, Costa Rica on December 27th. And then on December 28th, we will head on over to the ship. We will board the Windstar. Again, that's the ship. It's Windstar Cruises, but the ship is called Windstar. It is the sailing ship. It is a smaller, intimate sailing ship that just got refurbished. Yeah, it just got refurbished. So with that, it is going to be an incredible holiday. There is no doubt. And New Year's, we will party up on deck and we are going to have a great time. That one goes from Costa Rica to the Panama Canal to Cologne. So we have a full transit of the Panama Canal on a small ship. Some of you said, I've already done the Panama Canal. I know what it's like on a smaller ship. No. Or I know what it's like on a bigger ship. The smaller ship in the Panama Canal is like nothing you have ever seen before. Yes, you go through the locks. You go through the same locks the big ships go through, but you are in a more intimate way of doing that. What do I mean by that? I mean, you see the workers and you are literally level where they're coming on, they're strapping things up, and they move on to the next, and you will see everything. I mean, everything close up. You have never gone through the Panama Canal unless you have done it on a smaller ship like this. Yes, you are on a bigger ship. And yes, it is absolutely beautiful and a marvel of engineering. There's no doubt. And I've done it several times on bigger ships. But the smaller ship and that intimacy of when you're in the lock and you're like, this is massive. And you get to see more of the engineering side of things because you are on a smaller ship. So let's go ahead and take some of your questions. And again, if you are interested in any of these trips, please go ahead and send me an email. The information is there at the bottom of your screen, sailwithseth@gmail.com. So let's go ahead and chat with you here. All right. So Andrea is asking, is the Greenland Arctic cruise the one on HAL? It is the one on HAL. The expedition will be in 2026. So the expedition to the polar region will be 2026. This cruise on Holland America Line will be 2025. Okay. Gene is asking, any other Atlas cruises on the drawing board? As of right now, no, but that will be changing because I have a meeting with Atlas in the next couple of weeks after I get back from Panama Canal. But for 2025, I don't believe there are any that might fit into the schedule. Could have some last minute changes, but as of right now, no. That, again, will change as 2026. Atlas, by the way, is coming out with a new ship that will be in Antarctica in 2026, and we'll talk much more about that later. But with that said, Atlas is a great partner with mine. They are amazing to work with, and we will be adding more. So if they call me back and they're like, well, we could do this, I'm like all about it. So Gene, stay tuned for sure. Janet, hi, good to see you here. Any trips to Iceland? There is a trip to Iceland, and we will be stopping there on Holland America Line. That is the Greenland Arctic Circle expedition. It's not an expedition cruise. We will be in Iceland. So not exclusively in Iceland, but that trip, once again, is going to be stopping in Iceland. I am looking at seeing if I could go ahead and do more of a Iceland comprehensive type cruise. So look for that to possibly be added in 2025. But if you want to see Iceland along with other places, then that's the cruise that you want to take advantage of. And that is on my website at sailwithseth.com. All right. Gail. Hi, Gail. How are you? Janice, do you know the Antarctica trip will be rounding Cape Horn? So for 2026, it's not going to round Cape Horn, but we will board the ship in Ushuaia. Now, here's where I'm going to go a little different from what we did this time, and it kind of a lesson learned, that I am going to encourage my guests to come into Buenos Aires, and we're going to do our own transportation down to Ushuaia, and then spend a night in Ushuaia prior to getting on the ship. So we won't be actually around the Horn, but the only place around the Horn, city-wise, is Ushuaia. So it's the southernmost city, and you will see that, and we will do our own tour, and we will do our own vantage point there in Ushuaia itself. So yes and no. Hopefully that makes sense. But Janice, yeah, if you are interested in Antarctica at all, 2026. And here's the deal. As soon as I find out more information, I am going to get that one out because I know that you want to save. I know you want to save for that trip. You can make payments. There's no interest. There's no nothing. We could go on a payment plan. I could show you and describe to you all about it. But Antarctica was not the cheapest trip. There's no doubt about it. But it was one that was worth every single penny because there is nowhere on Earth that is like Antarctica. All right. So, Janice, I hope that answers your question there. Barry saying, is Barcelona transatlantic sold out? Unfortunately, that trip has been canceled. So the transatlantic cruise that was scheduled for this year on Oasis of the Seas has been canceled. And Wayne, I cannot wait. Yes, Wayne, you got to go on the 16 night because I'm telling you right now, there are. Okay, let me put it this way. There is a cost difference. There is no doubt there is a cost difference, and there is a big jump when it comes to that. But when you're down there, you want to take advantage as much as possible of doing the 16-night option because you have the most incredible landscape that you probably have ever seen before. So yes, I will send you out that information. I could chat with you and Sunny, and we can have a conference call all about it. But you want to make sure that if you could squeeze it in the budget, that's definitely the way to go. And you will see a lot of us from Antarctica on that trip, Wayne. So you won't be alone. Jane, hi, how are you? Wayne is saying, what is the Greenland trip involved? We will send you out an e-brochure. It is not an expedition cruise. So keep that in mind. There's a lot of tender ports in Greenland when we go on Holland America Line, but there are no expeditions, no Zodiacs that you get to go on. There are some side trips that we can look at together as a group. But once again, send me an email on that and we'll get you an e-brochure with an itinerary sent out for that specific trip. Ruth saying, what kind of Mardi Gras costume do you recommend? Oh, Ruth, anything goes at Mardi Gras. Anything goes. I don't want to share my costume quite yet, but wait till you see it. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's really going to be a lot of fun. And I'll see you this upcoming weekend. Hey, Gail, thank you. Brochure for Alaska 2025. Let me know via email that you're interested in that tour, and I will go ahead and send you out the information on that. So once again, email me and let me know that you're interested in that Alaska 2025 brochure. Janice, I love it. Yes, interested in Antarctica. That is going to be awesome. Andrea, Wayne, come to the Galapagos. It is going to be amazing, and it really will be. It really will be. It's going to be an amazing, amazing trip. And to wrap it up, Andrea is saying lots of beads. And just to let everyone know, and I said this on my Zoom chat with all of my friends that are going to be on the New Orleans cruise, I have dozens and dozens. I'm going to say I have hundreds of beads. Hundreds of beads. So yes, bring your own. Bring your own. That's fine because you're not going to never have too many beads for Mardi Gras. But wait until you see your package when you arrive at the party. So everyone, and this is going to sound different for so many people, but for those that are on my cruise for Mardi Gras, you know what I mean. We have a private balcony. This is the Sail with Seth way. Private balcony in New Orleans on Bourbon Street on Fat Tuesday with a private chef, with unlimited drinks, with all the fun. Every single person is going to arrive, and you will see the amount of beads and fun that I have packaged for all of these people. That's you. It has been a lot of work. It has been a lot of work making sure that this is all getting done, but I cannot wait. I cannot wait for that upcoming trip. All right. Mike is saying, oh, yes, of course, the Ama Christmas Market. That is still on as well, my friends. Good call. Thank you, Mike. And the Ama Christmas Market is going to take place at the end of December. So once again, the end of December of 2025. If you are interested in the Ama Christmas Market of 2025, please go ahead and let me know. And again, we can add you to the list there and get you booked because that cruise will not have availability in about 6 to 8 months. So yes, Christmas Market on Ama. It's the Grand Danube. It's 14 nights. So if you're interested in that, please go ahead and let me know, and we can go ahead and let you know. I also want to tell you that the website has not been updated quite yet. So let me tell you a little bit about this. When you run a business and you're trying to have all your hands and everything, right? It's a lot. Okay. And especially making sure that we give you, myself and Mariah, give you the best service that we possibly can. And thank you for your patience in waiting a day or 2 or even 3 for email responses back. And I apologize if you have to keep budging us, and it's not nudging us. You know, not. And but regardless, I want to let you know that when we are, when I'm trying to do everything and I'm getting the website situated, the website designers, there's a lack of communication there. So when I try to get something done, it doesn't really go necessarily my way of wanting the proper way of getting it done. So there are some misprints, there are some typos, there are some things that the website does have, and we're in the process of kind of retooling that at a slow speed. So my apologies if the trip is not there right now, but again, I've been told it should be updated within the next 48 hours. But you know that you can always contact me. You can always contact Mariah. And we were both making sure that we get that information on over to you. All right, MJ. Hey, good to see you on the Mardi Gras cruise. Will the ship do anything for Super Bowl and Daytona 500? So I know for sure they will do something for the Super Bowl. Daytona 500, I would imagine that they would, especially since the cruise is leaving out of Tampa. So I don't have an answer right now, but I would pretty much guarantee that they're going to do something for both of those. I can 100% guarantee that they will be doing something for the Super Bowl. And again, we are going to have a blast. So safe travels, MJ, to you and Judy coming up. All right. So again, thank you guys for being here, letting me know what you're interested in. I'm going to have a quick little recap if those of you who are just joining us. I just want to kind of go over something real quick. And once again, we're going to kind of fly through it so you get your last look at what we are checking out here. So once again, the first one that we went over is the Martha's Vineyard, Charleston, and Bermuda cruise from Cape Liberty, New Jersey. That is just outside of New York City, May 8th through the 18th of 2025. So once again, May 8th to the 18th of 2025. The itinerary is you depart Cape Liberty, New Jersey. You arrive into Martha's Vineyard, a day at sea. You're in Charleston overnight. We'll do a group dinner in Charleston. You're a day at sea, 3 days in Bermuda with 2 overnights, a day at sea, and we are back into Cape Liberty, New Jersey. And on that cruise, the Sail with Seth special is $100 of onboard shipboard credit and a complimentary group shore excursion in Bermuda. Next up is 2025 for the Alaska Cruise Tour. That's Vancouver, British Columbia to Fairbanks, Alaska in the prime time of Northern Lights viewing. And that's what we are going to see. The cruise, you can see on the left-hand side of your screen, starts in Vancouver, ends in Seward. The land, you have an overnight in Anchorage, in Talkeetna, 2 nights in Denali National Park, 2 nights in Fairbanks, Alaska, and where we have the opportunity of seeing the Northern Lights. And these are pictures that are taken in September. And your Sail with Seth special here is the $100 shipboard credit and the complimentary Fairbanks farewell dinner. And one of the highlights of 2025, at least for me, is this Southeast Canadian Explorations cruise. And this one leaves from Montreal, arrives into New York City with 3 overnights: Quebec City, Portland, Maine, and New York City. And it's a James Beard Foundation culinary themed cruise. So once again, the James Beard Foundation is like the Oscars for actors. James Beard Foundation is that for chefs. So the James Beard Foundation has teamed up with Windstar Cruises. They are partners, and we will get the benefits of that. We are going to be shopping with the chef in a market tour. We get a chef-hosted dinner, 2 cooking demonstrations, and like I said, I'm working on getting our own. But once again, it is going to be a fantastic one and hosted by Chef Larry here. And Chef Larry, the godfather of American cuisine, who introduced back in the 90s farm to table. Once again, for my solo travelers, I got 5 staterooms available. That's it. They will not give me any more. So 5 staterooms available for solo travelers at 125% instead of that 200%. And those are the extras that you will be receiving. Once again, the Sail with Seth special, $100 of shipboard credit, complimentary laundry if booked by the end of February, complimentary 1-night pre-cruise hotel in Montreal. Again, this is based on availability, or a $100 shipboard credit. So once again, you want to book early to take advantage of that free night in Montreal. For 2025, the rest of the itineraries, if you're interested, the 12-night New Zealand, the 9-night Australia. We have Arctic and Greenland for June and July of 2025, as well as a Christmas market cruise. Okay, the Christmas market cruise as well. So I apologize for leaving that one out. 2026, if you're interested in any of these, please let me know. In the Caribbean, Antarctica, the expedition, late January to February, Vietnam and Cambodia in the spring, an Arctic expedition, as well as a cruise along the Douro River. And we're going to wrap things up with this year. And there's still availability left for my 10-night Alaska with a Seattle pre-stay in July, 21-night Norway and British Isles in July and August, the 12-night Danube River experience on my favorite, the Ama Magna, the 10-night Galapagos in October of 2024, the 16-night Galapagos with Machu Picchu. Same exact itinerary, friends. We just add Machu Picchu on for those following 6 days, and then a 7-night Costa Rica and Panama Canal New Year's celebration. So a lot to look forward to. We have a great lineup. I know that I will be adding some more here and there, but overall, 2025 is pretty much planned at this point. There might be a few that I could squeeze in here, but for the most part, 2025 is looking great. 2026 on the horizon as well. And I want to let you know that I really, truly appreciate your support, your friendships, your feedbacks, and your patience, because I know it's tough. You're excited. You want the information right now. You just got to wait. And I really do appreciate. So the more you book, the more I can hire and the faster you can get a response. So really, with that said, tell your friends, share this video with your friends, because you are the reason why I'm here. And I'm not just making that up. You all are the reason why I'm here. I've said this every single cruise, and I will continue to say it again. Without your support, I wouldn't be here. I really wouldn't. So you are what's making Sail with Seth such a success. So thank you again. I hope that you have a fantastic, fantastic evening, no matter where you are. Southern California, I hope that you are going to dry out soon. I know it has been wet here in the desert in Southern Nevada. It is pouring out my window right now. And you're staying cool in other parts of the country and staying warm in others. But regardless of where you're located, thank you so much for everything. And please, let me know if you are interested at all. It is not a guarantee, but just let me know if you're interested, and we can go ahead and send you those e-brochures out for you, and we will get that done momentarily. All right? So thanks again. You take care. Enjoy. And if there's a spot that I didn't mention that you're interested in, send me the idea, because guess what? There's no such thing as a dumb suggestion, because there are others that are sitting here saying, you know what? You're probably right. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. I want to go here, or I want to go there. All right. So thanks again. You take care. Enjoy. And I will see you back here another day. And for those that are coming to meet me in Tampa, you have a safe trip to Tampa, and I'll see you this upcoming weekend. For now, that does it. For Mariah and myself, you guys have a great evening. Stay well.